Hey, everybody. What is happening? It is Tuesday morning. What's up? Whew, I'm a little out of breath right now because I just ran downstairs to help Vicky bring in some groceries. But it is Tuesday morning. What's happening, everybody? So I saw that the seller update came out this morning. And, we could have talked about it on tomorrow's show, but I didn't want to take up too much time on our regular show. And I just figured the sooner we covered it, the better. And then we could see what's up with it, see if we have any questions, any concerns. And so I just figured the best way to do it is just to go live so you guys could actually interact and, ask questions and stuff. But I'm hoping that most of you had a chance to read it. It's not really that long of an update. There's not like a ton of stuff in it. So it shouldn't take you more than, 5-10 minutes to kind of go through on your own. So Steve Hill says that he loves nachos. Yeah, this is actually my nacho business t-shirt. And if you notice, he's taking a phone call, a business call. He is a nacho, so it's nacho business. Anyway, Christiane forgot her homework. And Dorothy says she hasn't read. That's okay. If you haven't read it, go ahead and read it after this if you still have questions. I put a link in the video down below that it will take you to the page that I'm going to be showing you guys, so you can go ahead and look. Like I said, most of the stuff, there's not really a whole lot that's new. It's a lot of stuff that's been kind of coming. There are a couple of newer things, and so let's not talk about it. So there's a couple of new things in there, but overall, there's nothing massive. But let's go over it, and I'm just going to do a screen share and show you guys, kind of walk you through it. I just read it myself for the first time this morning, so I'm not in any way an expert on the updates. But I'm just going to go over it with you, and then we'll see what we think about everything. Let's see. I got 40 people watching here. Awesome. So let me go ahead and share with you guys. Man, this is what tells you the time is flying fast. Like, I feel like we just had the summer update, and now we're already at the fall update. You guys, fourth quarter is coming soon. We basically have like 2 months before it officially starts, October 1st, right? And that's when our sales are just going to start rolling in. But we got things we got to do to get ready for it. So actually, we're going to talk about that on tomorrow's show, setting some goals for fourth quarter. So you guys are definitely going to want to tune in for that, for the Boss Up and List live show. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share real quick here. Hey, everybody. Hello. All right, so this is the 2018 Fall Seller Update. Like I said, the link is down below in this video, and I'm sure it's all over on the YouTubles and on Facebook, on the eBay for Business page and whatnot. But anyway, they've got it divided into 3 different sections. We got marketplace updates, inventory optimization, and then service metrics and shipping. Yeah, Lorna says it's like 50 days until quarter 4, so you definitely want to be setting some goals. Anyway, so let's just go into the first section, the marketplace updates. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. And here's kind of the overview. We're gonna go one by one. So the first one is, this is a completely optional thing. And there's plenty of you like myself who are not gonna wanna take advantage of this, but they are gonna be allowing us to provide a customer support phone number to answer buyers' questions before you make a sale. So what this means is that you will be able to put your phone number in, and it will come up if we look at the frequently asked questions. Where on eBay will a buyer see my phone number? So basically, it'll be on the FAQ page, the Ask Seller question page, and the Reply to Question page. And let's see if it's going to be on the mobile app or not. So it's not on the mobile app yet. So basically, this is nothing to worry about. If you don't want your phone number out there, that's fine. Some of you guys, some of the bigger sellers especially, like let's say somebody who sells maybe a lot of electronics or things that kind of come with a lot of questions. If you're running your store as a big business and you have employees, like I'm thinking that you probably would want to have your phone number out there. And the way it is right now, it's like you can't really exchange contact information with your buyers without getting in trouble. So this is just another way to provide better service. And again, completely optional. So but as you guys, some of you may already know, buyers are able to get your phone number if they call and request it. So if you've ever gotten like a random phone call from a buyer, but I think that's generally after the sale. All right, so that's the phone number thing. And then manage payments. Now, this is what we've already been hearing about and talking about. This is just the beta plan that's coming into effect. And so it's just going to be a very small number of sellers that will be participating. They've already filtered out kind of the buyer, or sorry, they filtered out the sellers that they think will be best suited for this program. So you should have gotten an invitation already if they think that you kind of qualify and you fit in with what they're looking for the initial part of managed payments. So I'm not personally doing it. I do a really high volume of international sales, and there are a lot of limitations around that. So I'm not going to be doing that. But if you guys want to listen, want to get more information about this, today was the very first episode of the new Selling on eBay podcast. So eBay Radio is no longer, and now Griff is doing a podcast called Selling on eBay. The very first episode came out today, and they devote a lot of time to the seller update. And they actually have, what was her name? Kiala from eBay, kind of going way more into detail about what they're doing with the new payments feature, new managed payments, kind of what the rollout's going to look like, and all those details. So you should definitely listen to that podcast. Okay, so the next one, using secure HTTPS URLs for enhanced browser security. Now, they've been talking about this for a long time. This is really about Google and their new mandates. It really isn't. eBay's just helping us to kind of figure it out. But this is all about making sure that your listings are on a secure site. So if somebody goes to one of your listings and it's only an HTTP, it's going to say that it's not secure, and you're not going to want that, because then your buyers are going to think that they aren't able to make a secure purchase. So you really want to make sure that you have taken care of that. If you see here, it says you can actually check here to see if you have any non-compliant existing listings that need to be updated. So again, I would suggest you guys go to this update page, because you're going to want to, at the very least, do this. And you click on check here, and there you go. I have 0 issues, so I don't have any problems with non-secure listings. But you want to make sure that you go and do this so that you are good to go, because you don't want any reason for buyers to turn away and think that they can't make a secure purchase on your site. Okay, so again, that's stuff that we've already seen. Now we come to the part that everybody loves, fee increases, guys. For the most part, I don't think these are too much for cause for concern. For some people, depending on what you sell, you might not be super happy about this. But so reserve price, subtitle, and value pack feature fees are going to be increasing. I don't ever use these. I know there are people who do, who use them around like auctions and stuff like that. So I'm not really entirely sure like how much this is going to affect your bottom line. Since I don't do it, I'm not an expert on it, and I'm just seeing this today. So I'd love to hear from some of the people who maybe actually use these. If you use reserve prices, if you use the subtitles, if you use the value pack feature fee or the feature thing, I don't even know what it is. But those fees are going to be increasing. And so, and then the next thing is changes to insertion fee credits for auction style listings that sell. I don't know, again, how it currently works, because I don't use any of the auction style stuff, but this is basically saying that starting October 4th, unlimited insertion fee credits for auction style listings that end in a sale are only going to be available to US and Canadian store subscribers with a basic store or better. So basically, if you're a starter store subscriber, or you don't have a store at all, you're no longer going to get insertion fee credits for auction style listings that end in a sale. So yeah. Oh, so Pam is asking about the new payment program. So no overseas sales on the new program. That's not entirely true. And that's where I would say I did a short video interview with Kiala from eBay at eBay Open. And that is, you can see that in my videos. But also if you go and listen to the eBay podcast today, there's a longer interview with her where she kind of gets more into detail about how that works. But there is going to be during the first part of the program, during the first beta part, there's going to be no global shipping program. So if you do any of your international sales through GSP, that's not going to be available at all. You are going to still be able to do direct international shipping, but only for international buyers who buy directly from the .com site. So if you're ever selling through eBay UK or eBay France or any of those other sites, you won't be able to do international. Your listings basically won't even show up there if you're in that program. But you will still be able to do direct international shipping for any international sales that are done through the .com site, if that makes sense. Okay, so now this is the price increase that probably will affect more people. So starting September 15th, the final value fees for books, DVDs, and movies categories are going to increase from 9.15% to 12% for store subscribers and 10% to 12% for non-store sellers. So basically, whether you have a store or not, those fees are going to increase to 12%, and store subscribers will not have any fee break when it comes to books, DVDs, and movies. And then also starting September 15th, the final value fees for the music category is also going to increase to 12% for both store subscribers and non-store sellers, with the exception of the records category, which is going to remain at a 9.15 for store subscribers and 10% for non-store sellers. So basically all media other than records, so like vinyl, is going to increase to 12% final value fees. So yeah, Barbara, you sell a lot of books, your fees are going to go up there, I'm sorry to say. I mean, I would suggest that you just build that a little bit into the cost of your shipping or the cost of your items. But if you sell a lot of media that's not records, this definitely is going to add some costs to your fees. So that is a bummer for sure. So I think that's everything as far as marketplace updates go. Let's go on to inventory optimization. So I don't think there's anything really new here. This is just more talking about the categories and the features in the expanded product-based shopping experience. They're continuing to transition to the product-based shopping. And so they're basically going to need people to start associating their listings to the enabled categories. And here's a link. You can go and see what categories those are. And I was listening to the podcast with Griff today, and they did say, they're not going to be like forcing this until after fourth quarter, but they want people to be adopting this sooner than later. The more work you do now to make sure that you are doing everything right and using the categories and using the catalog, the better off you're going to be when they actually kind of bring down the hammer and make it all the switches after fourth quarter this year. And so, yeah, so here's all the different categories. It's a lot of electronics and stuff like that. Now, if you go and look in the FAQs, I think there's a question here, which a lot of you are probably going to be interested to know about. Let's see, I'm moving on down. Was it in this one? I know there was a question that was asking about fashion and collectibles and whether or not those are going to need to be switched over, but no, that's not happening anytime soon. If ever, I mean, there's going to be issues around like particularly used collectibles, used fashion, like clothing, that you just wouldn't be able to do as a product-based listing. So it's basically just these categories. Okay, Red Neckerson's resales. I'm very slow, hard to keep up with you, still trying to figure out how to check HTTP. Okay, let me go back to that really, really quick. So it's on the first section, Marketplace Updates. And if you go down to here, the third one, use secure HTTPS for enhanced browser security. Right here, it says check here to see if you have any non-compliant existing listings that need to be updated. So go ahead and open the link to the update that's in the description of this video. And on this page, there's an option right here, and you just click on it, and it'll tell you if you have any problems. I don't, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, so again, I don't know a lot about the whole product-based thing. It's very limited to certain categories. So just make sure that you're familiar with the categories that it's talking about, and make sure that you are starting to adopt their new categories and catalog. They also have some new things they're adding, like some new other item condition label and definition updates. So this is going to be in certain categories. They're going to automatically be updating existing listings in the electronics, home and garden, health and beauty, and musical instrument categories with a new other item label to a new open box label and definition. So again, if you sell in those categories, they're just changing your options rather than just being new other. It'll be open box, and this will hopefully help you to better describe your item and let people know what condition their items are in. So nothing too big there. Now somebody is getting some reductions in their fees in some of the business and industrial equipment categories. So this is very limited just to heavy equipment, commercial printing presses, food trucks, and concession trailers. So they are changing around some of their fees, adding some caps. So if you are one of those sellers who's out there selling food trucks on eBay, you just got a break in your fees. Jane says, "Yay, I have 0 to update with HTTPS." Yeah, hopefully none of you are going to have an issue with that. If you do, they have instructions of how to address it and how to deal with it, but you should be okay. Hopefully everybody's going to be okay. All right, so yeah, new item specific requirement for heavy equipment, including the wheel quantity in your wheel listings. So again, these are pretty limited to very specific buyers and a very small number of categories. So no worry. Christiane says, "Oh, good, I can finally list my food truck." Yep, pretty much. All right, let's head on over to service metrics and shipping. So this is, again, nothing new here, but this is what we've been talking about. There still are some concerns here, and I'm sure that some of you guys share my concerns, but let's talk about this really quick. So the service metrics and peer benchmarks are now available in Seller Hub. So I'm going to show you real quick. I have mine pulled up here. So this is service metrics. This is in the performance tab of your Seller Hub. So, so if you go here to service metrics, it's at the very bottom of the list right here. You're going to see one thing that they're saying is they're not looking at any numbers prior to June 1st, 2018. And so this is where they're going to be looking at items not as described, item not received, and they're going to be comparing you to your peers. So you can see here, I'm 0% because I don't have any items not received right now. Item not as described, it's a similar setup. Again, I have 0 right now. And so this is where you're going to be wanting to look regularly to make sure you at least have a really firm handle on where you stand right now compared to your peers. Hey, Rosie's Closet from Vegas, first time catching us live. Awesome. I'm sorry that your first time live is a really, really boring video. But anyway, so this is going to be going into effect here basically starting October 1st. If you have a very high rate of item not as described returns, you may be subject to additional 4% final value fee in affected categories based on the service metrics policy. And then starting November 1st, 2018, if you have a very high rate of item not received requests, you may be subject to extended delivery estimates in affected categories. Now, let's talk about the easy one first, item not received. I think that one's really simple. I think this is actually great because if somebody opens an item not received case with you, you should have your delivery confirmation. And so if it shows that it was delivered, you're able to very easily call in, get that closed down, and get that taken off of your record. And so to me, if there is somebody who legitimately has a very high rate of item not received requests, they should be subjected to extended delivery estimates in those categories. I think that's great. Now, the question that I think everybody has is, what about item not as described? Because there is not an easy way to deal with false INADs. But here's the thing. Here's what eBay says. They're comparing you to your peers. So that depends on what category it's in. So there's some categories, let's say women's clothing, that may have higher rates of returns, particularly INADs. If you take returns, if you don't take returns, if you do free returns, there's different things that are going to affect like the number of potential false items not as described cases. And eBay gets that. And so what they're saying is that normal, regular misfilings of INADs is going to happen across the board. It's going to happen randomly to all different sellers. And so it should all kind of even out. And you should not be in a position where you have a higher percentage, a super high percentage of INADs compared to your peers. Okay. The problem right now is that there's no way, they don't have like a process like they do with items not received where you can call in and get an INAD taken down. They don't have like a set process for that, and they're saying that they don't want us to be trying to fight everyone. They do say that if a buyer is flagged and they are able to see that they are regularly misusing INADs in order to return items, then in those cases, they will go and remove those INADs from any sellers that they give them to. But if it's just a buyer that here or there, accidentally uses the INAD instead of just saying that it didn't fit, let's say it's a shirt, they are not going to be going in and taking those down. I hope that they will change that in the future. I actually agree with eBay that it's not going to be a huge problem where people are going to be like falsely getting super high INAD numbers and getting charged a 4% fee, because I do think that it happens randomly across the board to all sellers. And so it should be fine. But if you are putting out consequences like a 4% higher fee and you're not giving sellers a way to combat false INADs on a case-by-case basis, it just gets in the way of sellers feeling comfortable and secure in being backed up by eBay, whether it's true or not. It's a reality. So anyway, whatever. So we can talk about that a little bit more, but let's see what else we have in here. Upload tracking to prevent item not received claims. Now, everybody should be uploading their tracking immediately. This should be something you are already doing. If you're buying your labels on eBay, of course, it's automatically going to happen. If you're buying your labels through some third-party companies like Stamps.com, FitShipper, things like that, they should be connected to your eBay account and automatically bringing in your tracking numbers. But if for whatever reason, if you're going to the post office to buy postage, if you're buying it on a site that doesn't do it automatically, you need to make sure that you are uploading your tracking before the estimated delivery date. If you don't do it before the estimated delivery date and then they open an item not as described, even if you have tracking that shows that it was delivered, you will not be able to use that to fight not as described, item not received. You will not be able to use that tracking to fight that claim because it needs to be up before the estimated delivery date. So just make sure you're doing that. Anyway, then there's the new eBay label experience. I don't think I have it because I haven't seen anything different in how my labels work, how my shipping labels work in eBay. So some of you may have already had that, but it looks like starting in September 2018, the new experience is going to be available to all sellers. And so they've added a bunch of new features. It looks like the previous label experience is going to be retired completely in January 2019. So let's see, what else do I have here? So I think that covers all of the basic points. And let me just show you real quick. Again, make sure that you are going, I have the link to the first episode of the Selling on eBay podcast with Griff, so you should totally check it out because they go into detail and they have a lot of different guests from different departments at eBay covering the seller update. So if you have more questions about it, you should totally be checking that out. I'm going to stop the screen share here. What? Lisa Hildreth just hooked us up with a $2 super chat. Super chat, super chat. Super chat day, yo. That's like my super chat song you guys get. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate it. Awesome. Okay, so that was basically covering all the stuff. It was just like a lot of information. Again, there's nothing that's like super new. It's all stuff that's been like up and coming along, other than some of the fee changes, particularly around media. So again, you're going to want to start adjusting your prices to make sure that you are covering those added fees. Let's see. Yeah, Gretchen says, I think we're talking about fake INADs. I think fake ones will naturally go down with INADs since so many are switching to free returns anyway. Yeah, and you got to remember, guys, like I'm not a fan with how they're rolling this out because, like I said, I don't like that they don't give you a way to fight false INADs, or at least know that you can. But I do get that I don't think that you will have to. Honestly, if you have an unusually high number of items not as described for your category compared to your peers, then there's probably something wrong and you just need to be paying attention to that. But as you do get INADs, and let's say you get one that's a false one, just pay attention to your metrics, look and see where you stand next to your peers, and just make sure you're not like getting dangerously high. I'm still going to be giving feedback to people I know at eBay and other sellers who maybe have some sway. I'm still going to continue to give feedback because I do think that there needs to be a way for us to easily submit evidence or whatever. Because a lot of times somebody will just, you know, they put in like item not as described, and in the message they say it didn't fit me. And it's not that they're trying to falsely make you take a return. It's just they picked the wrong one. Big deal. But it's really obvious that they picked the wrong one because they said in their message that it didn't fit. So I do hope in the future that they're going to like readdress that. But I would also say just try not to get too panicky or worried about it, because really you shouldn't have an unusual number over your peers unless there's something going on, right? So you need to be like taking steps to make sure that you're putting all the information that you need to put in your listing. So if you sell clothing, please use measurements. Use companies like Sizely to be able to visually show your buyers what the measurements are on that clothing that you're selling. Make sure you're taking good pictures. Make sure you're disclosing flaws. You know, make sure you're showing if there's something wrong with an item. Make sure you show really good pictures of that. Make sure you're telling your buyers. Just be really clear in your listings. You want to under-promise and over-deliver. You don't want to over-promise and under-deliver. I know I bought stuff before, and when I got it, it did not look as good as it did in the pictures of the listing. So there's things that you need to be doing to make sure that you kind of keep those numbers low. Exclusive elegance. Heather loves my super chat dance. Yeah, I know. I'm not very good. I've only gotten a couple of super chats in my experience on YouTube, so I probably have to work on getting a better super chat dance. But yeah, I just need more practice, guys. Just need more practice. Oh, James's Closet. Why are things freezing? Am I freezing? I hope not. Heather says the new labels won't let you print FedEx, so she reverted. Well, so what I just said is that January 2019, they're going to be retiring the old labels completely. So if there are any issues with things like FedEx or stuff like that, hopefully that's going to get fixed, or they'll make changes to that. I don't know. Again, I don't have the new version, so I couldn't tell you. But one thing you could do proactively is to go open your own FedEx business account or whatever. I know Vicki uses her own account. So that might be one way of doing it. So the times that you do need to use FedEx, you can do that on your own. Lorna missed a dance. Sorry, Lorna. Sorry. Yeah, DJ says, thanks for reading all those updates. If I would have read that, I would have fallen asleep. Yeah, again, nothing too crazy. Other than some of those fee increases and stuff, but. And also, you know, as more, you know, some time passes, maybe there'll be some more information that comes up, more concerns, more questions. But, you know, we can talk about it a little bit more tomorrow and also on Friday on No Pants Friday. But I will say I'm not wearing any pants right now, that's for sure. But anyway, tomorrow, Wednesday, is Boss Up and List Day, which means it's our all-day virtual listing party in the Boss group. So if you're not in the Boss group, you should be. The link to join is down below. So I'll be putting a post up first thing in the morning, telling people to set their listing goals for the day. And then at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are going to have our Boss Up and List live show. And this week we have an awesome guest. We're actually going to have Casey Paris, aka Rockstar Flipper, is going to be on the show tomorrow at 11 a.m. And it should be a really good show. We're going to be talking about our experiences with venturing out to other platforms, like cross-posting and listing on other platforms. So I'm going to be talking about how things are going with my Etsy store. Vicky's going to talk a little bit about she's just getting started back on her Etsy store. Casey has been doing Poshmark for the last, I think, like 3 months. So he's going to be able to tell us about his experience on Poshmark and how it's been going, what his numbers kind of look like, you know, what his feedback is about it, how it is compared to eBay, because eBay is his main source, I believe, of income, main place that he lists. So we're going to be doing that with Casey. It should be an awesome show. We're also going to talk about setting some goals for the fourth quarter, because seriously, guys, fourth quarter is 50 days away, August 1st. Now, of course, that's just a random number we're putting out because it's technically the beginning of the last 3 months of the year. But it is when things are going to start ramping up with sales and people are really going to get into their holiday shopping. So you want to be prepared for it. And you're going to want to set some goals for where you want to be when that time comes. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Outdoor Girl 10, I want to learn Etsy. Do you have other videos for Etsy? You know, I'm not an expert on Etsy. I'm trying to talk about it more and more. I'm much more fluent in eBay speak because I've been doing eBay full time for the last 2.5 years. So Etsy, I'm just kind of starting out. I don't have anything that's specific to Etsy. I don't really feel like I have the expertise yet to be able to like give a lot of information about it. But you should watch tomorrow's show either live or after it airs because we'll be talking about it more. So I don't know what's happening. A lot of people are having issues with the YouTube. I hope not everybody's having a hard time with it. Apparently, I keep freezing. Sorry, guys. Sai Spies, I'm hoping that's how you say your name. Katie, thanks for never charging for your content. You stand apart from other YouTubers in that regard and in many other regards. Sidna from Southern California. Well, no problem. I don't plan to ever charge for my content. It is monetized. Like it's like once you get to a certain level, you can monetize your videos. So I definitely like monetize them. That's why there's ads in it now. When you watch live, you don't have to watch any ads. I think maybe it like when you first log in and start the video, it does like a little ad at the beginning, but otherwise there's no ads during the live shows. I do put ads in my stuff once the live shows are over. So when somebody comes and watches it pre-recorded, there are ads there. And so that helps me a little bit, but it's not charging you guys. You just kind of get stuck having to hit the little skip thing. So hopefully that's not the worst thing that's ever happened in your life. But it is just one way for me to put some time into doing these shows. But yeah, I'm never going to charge for the YouTube channel for sure. No plans. And no swearing. I try not to. I curse like a sailor in my real life, though. I will say that. Anyway, hey, yeah, so it sounds like a lot of people are having troubles with it freezing. I'm not seeing it on my end, but obviously I'm not watching the playback. So I'm going to go ahead and put an end to the video. Again, if you have other questions or concerns and you're watching this after the fact, go ahead and write comments down below. If there's anything that you want me to find out for you or try to figure out. Otherwise, you can come and see the show tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Rockstar Flipper, Casey Paris, the Boss Up and List live show. Or you can come watch us on Friday for the No Pants Friday show, which is at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you still have questions about the update, we can totally talk about it there. What do you think about that? So please, guys, go join the Boss Facebook group. Hit subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up, or maybe you want to give it a thumbs down because it's been freezing nonstop. Lame. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you later. See you around.